Alright, welcome back to the channel. You are looking at the iconic Cromwell B, the British Tier 6 medium tank. We are not talking about this tank today. We are going to use it to take a guided tour around Mirage. The return of one of the World of Tanks Blitz's iconic maps has happened in the latest update. So I'm going to take the Cromwell B around the map for you to show you what it's all about and give you some ideas as to how you might play this particular map. If you're enjoying the content, don't forget to like and subscribe, and let's see what the Cromwell B can show us. Here we are, the login screen. Shouldn't take too long. Right, here we go. So, Mirage as a map. You'll see there the mini map in the bottom left is now in colour. That is nothing to do with Mirage, that's another update change that has just happened. Over this side of the map, we've got the sand dunes, the railway line, and the coast, which we'll get to shortly in a second. And over here, you'll hear cries of waterfall, waterfall in the chat when you play this game, because that is one of the routes that people like to take. And just here in the middle, there's some high ground, which we will cover shortly. But this is effectively the medium and light tank spawning side of the map. And as you can see in the middle here, there's plenty of undulating terrain to use gun depression. And what you might find is that really fast light tanks or mediums like to race to this particular bush here and try and get spots, or indeed that one on that side. And you can sometimes get a face off as people race up the hill, fire a shot into the opposite bush and then duck back down again. That's something you need to watch out for. I've gone for supremacy here so you can see where the bases are, but the B cap here is where the base is for normal encounter battles. So once your light tanks have all raced to the middle and faced off against each other, you may well find yourselves scrapping over this side of track. Not much in terms of cover around here, so be careful if you're coming this way. There's a bit of a hill here you can hide behind. And again, the gun depression situation, if you can generate that to your advantage. Bit of water here, that is going to slow down your tank. Please be wary of that. And actually, I think if memory serves, it gets a bit deeper as you get into here. Yeah, which is even more restrictive in terms of movement. Of course, it's highly likely that a tank destroyer will park themselves on the railway line at either end, as they do in a couple of the maps that are in the game at the moment, so please be aware of that. As we move around here, this is the light medium tank spawn for the opposing team. But of course, in the game these days, quite a lot has changed. This is a very good area for tanks with gun depression. Not necessarily just lights and mediums, so you may well get some heavy tanks heading this way as well. As we move down here, this is the heavy tank spawn area for this side of the map, and we'll go down to the waterfall in a second, but while we're here I'll show you this middle section, because you may well find that a very fast medium or light tanks will actually come this way and try and get up to this hill area here, noting that the other team might try the same thing and you might get shots in here, but by coming this way you will spot the heavy tanks making their way across there. So there's normally a bit of a scrap for this high ground, because once you have it, TDs love to sit in these bushes here, and of course anything in B cap is in danger. I'll come up the other side of this hill in a minute when we go round. And of course, back to being a heavy tank, I'm going to come this way and make our way around here. And again, there's normally a bit of a face-off here as the tanks try and poke this corner. And this is a very restrictive area in here. The deep water will make it difficult for your tank to move. But you can expect enemy heavy tanks and TDs to be in this particular area. Or of course, as I've mentioned, you may well find them coming through here You might want to post off here if you can side scrape. There's an equal rock on that side to achieve that, but again, tanks might be looking to come up here and try and dominate this bit of high ground in order to get shots across the way there. So back down here, this is the heavy tank spawn area for tanks on this side. A sneaky little spot is one that's just here. TD might decide to take up this position. Let's just drop this tree for a bit of extra camo. I'm going to hide behind the leaves. Yep, there we go. To get shots in on anything that might come up here or anything passing over this way. And as I say, those heavy tanks are probably going to spawn in somewhere around about this area. And traditionally, heavy tanks cry waterfall and go that way, and lights and medium tanks head off this way. But of course, things have changed. As I've mentioned, it'll be interesting to see how the player base adopts their tactics on this particular map, with all of the changes that have happened to the tanks and new players being in the game, particularly those who've not seen it before. Capping this base is pretty risky because you can get hit from up here, so it's probably one to avoid. So there you have it. That is Mirage. Quite a lot going on this map. It's quite big, plenty of room to maneuver, and certainly one that gives you lots of opportunities. Okay, so there you have it. That is Mirage. It is no longer a Mirage. It is actually back in the game. It's going to be available for Supremacy and Encounter battles, and I believe it's with us until the next update, so get it while you can. Let me know in the comments what you think about this map. As a veteran player, are you happy to see it back? As a new player, are you looking forward to playing it? And of course, once you've given the map a go, come back to the comments and give us an update on how you got on with it. As always, don't forget to like and subscribe, and thank you very much for watching.